with the Redneck Garage. Well, I'm at the end of a long week, and I've truly been dealing with mentally challenged people today. And I think the thing that bothers me the most is when people talk to you like you're a mental midget or retarded or something, like I don't have any sense. I hired a couple guys to do some work in my yard, and they were trying to put one over on me, but I'm not that dumb. So let's take a look. So after all the construction, the front yard just looks like crap. It's all crushed down, it's been flattened down. This is where they brought the concrete around to the back, and it needed a lot of work. The grass is just nasty. So I thought, you know, now would be a good time to do some work on the front yard. So I got on one of these forums for the neighborhood, you know, that kind of thing. And there was a guy that said, hey, I do topsoil and stuff like that. So I called him, and he came over and met me in the house. So we walked around the yard, and I said, you're going to turn this over, right? Because this is really compact. It's got a little garbage in it. Oh, yeah, I'll go down 2-3 inches and get it all plowed up. And where's all the lines? And I showed him where all the lines were in the yard. And I said, you probably won't go that deep. And he's like, oh, no. Had a big load of dirt delivered into the ditch, and they came out this morning with a rented Bobcat. Well, I see him driving around the yard and kind of doing donuts and stuff. And then I see him start to spread out the dirt, which is okay. You know, around the sides of the driveway where we had the new driveway poured, it really needed some dirt built up there. So I watched him for a little bit and saw him spreading it out on both sides of the driveway. And Jennifer's like, aren't they supposed to dig up the ground? And I was like, yeah. So I come out here this morning. I said, what are you going to till it after you spread it out? As you can see, that's most of the dirt that they had left over after they spread it around the sides of the driveway, right? And that pile of dirt right there is going to cover this whole amount of grass and lawn. No, I don't think so. Now, do you think any grass is going to grow right here? No, it will not. This all has to be dug up. There's also a root here that he's supposed to take out that he didn't do dang thing with. So obviously I've got my work cut out for me on this front yard if I want it to look like anything, but holy moly. So at this point he looks at me and says, oh no, you know, for $1,000 all we're going to do is spread it out. If you want us to till it up and everything, that's going to be another you know, $250 to do that. So here's where I kind of get mad, is when people talk to you like you don't have any sense or don't know nothing, right? I said, you told me you're going to turn the ground. He goes, well, didn't you see me driving the Bobcat around? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, that's turning it over. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? And he goes, I said, the only way to turn it over is to till it up. This ground's got to get loosened up so it can get aerated. And he's like, oh, no, that's not true. You know, it's going to cost more. So we talked back and forth a few minutes, and I'm like, well, that's not what you said you're going to do. And he's like, yes, it is, and blah, blah, blah. We went back and forth, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you. And it's always funny when you say I'm not going to argue with you, because you're usually in the middle of arguing with somebody. So anyway, Jennifer's inside, and later I found out she could hear just about everything I was saying. So at this point, I just thought I'd give him my 411. I said, listen, son, I grew up on a farm. And I said, so it's not like I don't know what dirt is or how dirt works or how to plant grass. You got to have it dug up, first of all. Second of all, if you got a cake that's stale, you can't put new icing on the top of it and make the cake any better. Just like this yard, you got to dig it up. I said, thirdly, I said, when we walked around the yard and I told you where all those lines were, I said, that was my complete understanding that you were going to turn this over, and you told me that you needed to make a swipe on this side. I said, so now you're changing your tune, you want to charge me more money. I said, now it's a principle thing. Then he got kind of an attitude with me. So at this point, I'd about had enough, and I was tired of arguing with him. I said, well, listen, son, you got two choices. You get something out here and you turn this soil over so I can plant grass, or you can get your Bobcat, you can load it up, and you can get off of my property. And that's the PG version. He was not that nice when I was talking to him, and he says, oh, well, aren't you a great guy? And I said, I am a great guy. And I said, and you're a liar, so that's just the way it is. And they packed up, and I saw him loading up the Bobcat, and they were gone. Haven't seen him again. So I paid him half, which was $500, which, you know, okay, that included the dirt, so I'm not that far out. So I'm planning on doing it myself, get the gravely out. I've got all kinds of attachments for it. I just didn't have the time nor the inclination that I wanted to do it. I think he's a little shady, man, let me tell you. So really, kind of, here's the deal. If you're doing contract work, then A, you need to write it all down in a proposal saying this is exactly what we're going to do, first of all. Secondly, don't treat the customer like they're an idiot and try to charge more on the back end for something you should have put in your quote at the first place, or at least give me a choice. Now, I can tell you this, that little guy was lying when he said that he didn't say that he was going to turn it over, because we specifically walked through the whole thing and I told him what I wanted and he gave me a price of $1,000 to do all the work, and I was just like, great, I don't have to mess with it. I thought that was a little bit high, you know, however, it would be done. I'm sorry that I just didn't frickin' do it myself. And there's your bigger lesson. If you want something done, you got to do it yourself if you want it to be done right, because that crackhead would have come out here, just spread the dirt out and said, there you go, and I would have had to till it all up anyway. Now, he really doesn't have any legal leg to stand on, because any judge or any normal person would know that if you're planting grass and you're getting dirt brought in, that the old ground has to be broken up. I mean, is he mental? I don't know. So now we've got to get the Gravely going. There's going to be some videos. I'm working on my Gravely. That thing is a rock star, but I'm going to have to till it all up, spread it all out, everything I was going to pay him for. And that is just the thing that I was trying to avoid, but at least I got it out of the ditch and some of it spread out along the driveway. Whatever. It's hard to get anybody in the construction, landscaping, pool building, automotive, whatever. It's hard to get somebody that's honest that'll do what they say they're going to do. And I guess that's the thing that disappoints me the most, that I had to come out my front driveway and start screaming and using all kinds of words that I don't want to put on my YouTube channel. And my wife going, I guess you told them. Yes, I did tell them. Why should I have to do that? Just do your job. Do what you're supposed to do. Don't come out and be a jackleg and not do a good job. I mean, what's the point of doing it at all? So that's where I'm at. I'm going to get back to work on the Gravely, but I just thought I'd share with you my frustration and anger over people just being lazy. Should have some cool Jeep videos coming up. I got some repair videos, got the storage building being built, got all kinds of stuff. Just had to take a minute and explain to you my frustrations over jacklegs. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.